One of the things I've always wanted to ask, because I'm actually a big Deep Purple fan as well, is that story about you? Because obviously I've researched this. It was May 18th, 1970. You were opening for Deep Purple in Dunstable, and they were on the cusp, I think, of releasing in rock probably at that point. And Blackmore's reputation of being a bit standoffish and a bit moody was huge even then, even now. But you actually ended up having a jam with him, which led to Wishbone Ash actually getting their first bite of getting a record deal. Can you remember much about that?
Yeah, I can actually. And you've just triggered something. I never realised that May the 18th was my mother's birthday. So I must have been playing that show on my mum's birthday. And
Wow.
she passed away last year at age 100. So that's like, I'm suddenly being triggered here. But before I answer that question, and I do remember it quite definitely, you have to realize when you mentioned about soul music, a lot of bands like Deep Purple and the players in heavy bands, actually, like you could say across the Atlantic, Vanilla Fudge, for
Yeah,
example,
yeah.
I mean, we all got our grounding is with soul music and Tamla. So we learned we learned how to put music together from listening to soul music, because those players who were a generation or so older than us, they knew about arrangements because they were probably jazzers. And,
Yeah, yeah.
When we applied those techniques and those things we'd learned into, say, heavier music, rock music, the stuff had some kind of form, So so it went with Wishbone Ash, and the Argus album. I mean, one of the things that is so great about it is it's composed, it's arranged. But getting back to the encounter with Ritchie, I was very much kind of an upstart. I wasn't of that first generation of guitar players that came along in the late 60s.
Yeah.
I was, when you're only sort of 17, 18, or even in your early 20s,
You have no fear.
you have no fear. Yeah, but also a year or two is it's a massive difference in the way that you respect your elders. So if I was say 17 or 18 and I saw Peter Green for the first time, I mean, he was obviously a couple of years older than me. That was massive. And the same with Ritchie Blackmore, But I wasn't averse to having no fear, and I was quite a spunky at that point. We were on the up and up, and I was feeling my oats, and I was feeling that I had something to offer. So when he got up on stage and he was jamming, he used to do this part in the set where he would put a little Vox AC30 on stage. I don't know why he did that, but he would just plug his guitar, and he was messing around with his amplifier. And I was set up behind them. We'd already gotten there early because we were very keen to make our mark on that show.
Yeah.
And so he started playing, and the rest of Deep Purple, they'd all hightailed it to the pub or the dressing room, because it was like Ritchie was going to be playing for about an hour, driving them crazy. So he would play a lick, and then I plugged in my amp at the back, and I crept on, and I had I think it was an SG in those days, and I would mimic this guitar lick. Then he'd play a lick, and he'd turn around and look and say, "What the hell's going on there?" But I kept it up, and I didn't back down. And I think he quite respected that, and that's what led to the encounter. And he watched the show, and he said, "You guys are great. Have you got a record deal? No, we don't. Well, I think I might be able to put you in touch with a couple of people that might help you there. So he was hugely instrumental in to use a pun, in that situation.
Wow.